Not even tuned. Had to put the headlights didn't work. Kid bought this car for $3,500 and wanted $1,000. Asked everyone for a week. I found out he was going to sell it for $1,000. I talked to him. He was like, "Man, I've been asking for $500 since Friday." I'm like, "Oh shit." He's like, "What do you got in your pocket?" I'm like, "I got 3 bills." He's like, "I'll go get the title. I'm done with it." Took it home.
Ready, Chris?
We are on, guys.
Hey.
Hey, everybody. We're Pints and Pistons. Nice to see you tonight.
We're Pints and Pistons?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Pistons and Pints.
Oh, hey. Yeah, that's
Hey,
what our shirt
look at that
says.
sick camera.
What camera? Oh, shit. Hey.
Right
Hi.
there in the corner.
Hey, Mike, hold that light.
Oh, shit. Yes.
Hello, light. That's a nice new LED bulb you got in there.
Yeah, that's a little rowdy.
A little
It's
bit.
just- there we go.
Yeah.
Much better.
Sorry, guys.
No, you're good. Hi, guys. I'm Daniel, and that's, who are you?
Mike.
One leg.
Zach.
And Chris.
Zach is our special guest of the evening. He is a fellow car nerd as we are who appreciates everything and anything.
Hey, he's wearing an old school Pints Pistons
Oh
shirt.
man.
Yeah, I got an OG Pints and Pistons shirt on, too.
I found it in this ratted out Mazda 3 out front.
We find it
Probably
loud.
get yourself.
I don't know. Dude leaves it unlocked and it has a start button and everything. It's
Yeah.
wild.
Well,
You just made me think of the leaves.
well, you just
The
found,
leaves.
you found that shirt in that car. You may want to get yourself checked out.
Yeah.
No,
I don't think it's been washed
alright.
in 5 years.
So him and I went to Festivals of Speed at the World Equestrian Center last weekend in Ocala. We made it a game to count how many leaves we could find on every car.
Especially supercars. I found a leaf in the rear grille of the Huracan, which also I was asked kindly to step out of when I got in, saw the engine start button,
Realized it
and
was lit
realized
up.
the dash was already lit up, and I started giggling. And they're like, "All right, man, we got to bring more people in." I'm like, "I was okay."
I was about to touch
I was gonna touch the
I was
button,
going to push
like,
the button.
Yeah,
You
they-
stopped me.
They didn't let me.
But like surprisingly, the amount of things hidden too, like
Oh yeah, leaves. Leaves are great to find at a car show.
the Diablo.
Hey, well, the great thing is, though, even though it was a supercar and you found leaves in it, that means you found leaves in a supercar, which means supercar was said
It's
driven.
outside.
Yes, and it
I
was
was
driven.
Yes,
That's
that
good.
is good.
That is good.
Yes.
If you didn't find one in it, that means
Car not being driven.
they're
Car
pussies.
just- Yep.
The
Safe queens.
The Diablo VT had window tint relatable to a Hot Wheels car, so you literally could not see inside of it. And then we looked inside and realized
He opens the doors.
He opens the doors up, and there
It
is
was a kit car?
No,
Oh.
there is a crack the size of Texas on the windshield.
in the windshield
You-
driver's side because it's got its normal
can't
like
see- you
bluish
can't
see
tint
from
that
the
came on
outside.
it from a 90s,
And it was
car.
tinted on top
But
of
then
that.
it was tinted on top of that, and when you're looking at the front, you can't see it. But when you look
Oh, no,
down
no,
and
we got
again, like through the
ass beats on
windshield
mine.
against the wall,
Hell yeah,
No one likes you.
God, that's such a proud 5.3.
Fence
No,
post exhaust
but-
pipe.
Oh, no, but that is...
Tube.
That, the thing... Yeah,
bro!
200.
It was squatted. Any truck that sounds like that is squatted, whether you see it or not.
But
It
the
is.
thing is there's no crossover, like it's not even an H pipe,
No,
it's not
no,
an X pipe, it's literally both.
262,000
And
miles
those are
squeaking out
and
240
those are
horsepower.
2-inch
Oh, yeah.
fence
Oh, yeah.
posts
Yeah, you
for
can't-
exhaust pipes.
You know the hip term for it, right? Is loud pipes.
Yeah, but they don't
That's what
even
they
do
call
like 3 or 4 inches. Literally
No,
just
no.
smaller because it has
just think
that
those
fucking
straight boys.
pop.
And they wonder why they destroy these LSs and shit.
Exhaust.
Look, those
It's
look.
ass cheeks clapping this.
Okay,
Is
here,
it Corsa or is it Magnaflow? No.
Tube.
fence post.
No, I got them loud pipes on it, brother.
Uh-huh. Put some quiet pipes on it. It's
No,
too loud.
it's literally the tubing that's at the top of Mike's fence out here.
Yeah,
That's
It
what that is.
That is exactly
I know.
it.
And
They
what he's
use-
doing is nothing new because they were doing that shit for 30 years ago around here,
That makes me happy, though.
No,
and it sounded
doesn't.
just as shitty
No,
back
it
then
makes me
too.
feel better, at least.
Yeah, it sounded just as bad back then too.
At least it's not our generation that's like doing dumb stuff. It's every generation.
Yeah.
At least it wasn't a VQ. Would you rather hear
Our
that
stuff's
or a
cooler,
VQ?
Speaking of VQ,
I mean, I like
I'm
tubing.
weird.
Speaking
I
of-
like VQs. how
speaking
they
of
sound.
VQ,
like
I
VQs.
saw something yesterday
A
that
stock
sort of
VQ?
blew my mind.
A stock G35.
A stock G37,
Whoa!
Wow.
completely stock, looked showroom minty fresh.
Yo!
Description of driver? Like,
I
I'm
didn't-
curious.
I
what,
didn't, I
you
couldn't.
know.
I didn't catch the driver because
Oh,
when
man.
I went by, I
Hey,
couldn't see the driver.
The
But
Lexus we saw.
Oh my goodness! So we're going through Citrus Hills, or like
Yeah, it
where
was
all the new
over towards
construction.
like Holder, like Hernando,
Okay.
that area.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of where that new construction is. There was a probably a 2001 ES 300. This thing had to be garage kept its entire life. 80-year-old woman in the driver's seat, just
on
looking
top,
over the hood.
And on top
And
of that,
this thing was so clean.
And it was what? What was it though? Remember? Like, it was the Comet.
Oh yes, that's right. The
The
I forget
Comet
what they call-
edition.
Yeah, the Comet.
It was like the TRD version of the Lexus.
Oh,
Two-tone.
okay. Yep, yep.
So you had that
design and everything?
beige bottom.
Yeah.
Oh, the
trim
Hail
and
Bop?
everything.
The lights were crystal
So,
clear, even the
Oh,
headlights.
yeah.
was it the black with the tan
Like that thing
bottom?
had-
No,
been
it was the
sitting in the
white
sun
with
at
the
all.
silver bottom.
Oh shit! Sabrina took a picture of that when she was still working at her old job.
Dude,
There was one that came up and it was the white with the silver, and
Yes.
then it had the
And it had-
like a vinyl-ish top.
No, this one didn't. No, it didn't. It was white with a silver bottom. Had a spoiler too with a functional third brake light and a bra on it. And the thing, like I said, even the headlights, they were crystal clear and like little old lady just
Yeah.
cruising.
And two hands on it lets you know it's not elite, but still,
Yeah.
this is a really nice car.
it was so
And you don't- dude.
nice.
Like that's starting to be over 20 years ago now for my Camaro's 21.
Mhm.
You know.
But also,
like
before
my
we
women, like I
dive
like my
into
F5
everything,
is
I'm going to
21
do
and full
a
of
shout
problems.
out. At said Festivals of Speed, there was a very, very healthy class of Chevrolets. Like, there was a lot of very, very clean and unique Chevrolets there. And
Like Ed's.
Ed got
Ed's
fucking
won.
best of show for Chevrolets.
Yep, Chevrolet's
Nice.
award
There
for
was
elegance.
there was $100,000+ Rochester fuel injected original split windows,
Yeah.
1,000+ horsepower twin turbo Camaros, resto mods.
Yeah, all the Chevys that was there, and Ed's
And like
mine,
I
man.
know
it's
Ed's
too pretty.
is
Everyone
like super
sees
clean
it.
and all that and everything, but the Monte Carlos still haven't
They haven't been appreciated.
right. And when he got that, it was funny because we were walking around the back of his car, just at a random point of walking around. I thought he threw a trophy in the back, and I was like, "Oh, you can put a trophy in your truck to show off." And he's like, "What?" And he come around the corner, and the judge was right behind him and grabbed him, and he said, "Oh, fuck."
Yeah,
He's
in
like,
the auditorium,
"No way."
the echoes through. Like, I'm so sorry. Like,
Well, the real bragging point on Ed's car is
It's the
how many
mileage.
miles it has
And
on it.
that's
Yes.
the thing. The very
That
first
car's
time I
got
saw
over
it,
200,000
Oh,
miles
that's
on it,
the-
and
it's
still
That's the
almost
best part.
250.
Yeah.
The most
Yeah.
fun part is being at a show where he's at and seeing people stare at it and walking by and doing the subliminal message thing. Like, these three dudes were down looking under it, and I was like, it's got 260,000 miles, and I just kept walking. They're like,
Yeah,
"What?" They're
exactly.
Like, what? Like, did you say that? I'm like, oh, yeah. He hit 260,000 miles a couple months ago. And they're like, not this car. I'm like, yeah.
Yes,
Like,
that car.
Yeah, this
I felt
car.
bad.
And then
like,
and that's when I say, go up in the engine bay and look at all the bolts. And then everybody does that, and they're like,
north to south, baby. All say
Wait,
number
hold
4,
on.
right across the front.
And they're all
With
lined
spacers.
up perfectly.
With spacers set to the side and only one spacer underneath each.
Yeah.
So that means he shaved that bitch down to. That's good for him, man. That's a.
Oh yeah, no. Ever since the first time I saw it, and him saying like, yeah, it has over at that point it was over 250,000 miles, and I'm like, no. Yep. He's like, yep. And I'm like, no.
But
But like,
you know what I did, Ed, with his Mustang? Because his Mustang is real similar to my Mustang.
Yeah.
So he went and entered the show that our club puts on. But
Okay.
he was telling Danny, he's like, man, he's like, I'm nervous about putting my car up against Brian's, and I was like, but it's our show, so I don't enter our show, I just display only, and
Sure. Yeah.
so.
Or
I-
judge things like that.
Well, in the case I have to do anything related to judging or anything like that, I don't want to be like having
Yeah.
to judge my car. Any of that crap, I'm display only for our show. So I went up to Ed and I was like, by the way, so lucky I'm display only. The week after that, there was another little show here in town,
Sure.
and Ed brought his Monte Carlo, and he won the class with his. But then I had my car entered, and I won Best Modern, which is what his Mustang would have been in.
Ooh.
So when we got done, I took my big ass trophy, walked up to Ed, I said, "Hey Ed, told you were lucky I was display only."
Oh yeah.
yeah, no. His cars, both of his cars are
yeah, they both are.
Like-
but
He's crazy about that, but good for him though, because I mean,
Yeah, I can
he puts
appreciate the
a
crazy.
whole bunch of work into them, and it does pay off for him.
It does.
because,
It
I
does.
mean,
Big time.
again,
You know-
260,000 miles, and that car looks showroom.
I'm
No, it
honestly-
looks pre-PDI.
Well, yeah.
I'm honestly excited for the next Wrench Monkeys event, which still isn't announced, but like my car has become that status where I know it's not like a show; it's more of a meet, but. I think I might be able to fucking get best shit box next time, boys. I
Go
think
for
I'm
it.
there.
Dude,
I think
send
I can do
it every time.
I think I can do it.
I need
I'll
to
go
see
get
the
some rack
biggest
shit,
collection
and
of
we can put it-
shitbox trophies.
Remember, that's how
That
Corey
was-
got
that
it.
was the one-
That's
yeah,
how
I
Corey
can
got
see
it.
that.
The original one
Was the
Corey
rack
had
shit
rack
in
shit
his
on his
fucking
fucking
car.
engine bay.
Yeah. You open
So it was
the
an
rack
actual
shit.
fucking shit box. So I got some out there in the shed in the dead box. if you want.
Also, we peeked by that new shop finally. And also, any qualms previously are deleted, just let you know. But that's a different topic for off stream. That new shop's fucking air conditioned.
Yeah, it's crazy Dave's old.
But
shop.
and the nice thing is they don't do anything there, so it's all Wrench Monkeys, and the whole place is modernized, nice inside. It has an actual like roof, and
It's a really nice shop.
oh yeah, it is, and they've had much better luck being there because of the resources they're able to have. Thankfully, they actually just did stuff for me too. But anyway, we gotta perpetrate that too, or we could do like a guest appearance there and whatnot. But anyway, besides point. I understand. So you know me with my streams of our chatness. I don't get too much, but we're doing stuff with some Facebook Marketplace nuggets.
Yeah.
Is that right?
I'm
Well,
new here. I have no idea what's
Marketplace
going on.
madness, man. So
Well,
how many
So
times?
could it be nuggets or good finds? That's what
No,
I'm
no,
saying.
Yes.
Like,
Well, yeah, but yes, but
What are
also,
the stipulations of fines?
well, also, how many times have you been trying to buy something on Marketplace or selling something on Marketplace, and you say, not, hey, is this available, but hey, ask questions and all that, and it's,
Hey, is this still available?
no, it's not. Or you go, yes, it is, and
That,
or
yes,
like
correct.
ask you all the questions and you answer it and then gone.
Yep.
Or like, hey, can I come see it? Yeah, when do you want to come?
or
4 weeks later. How about today?
Hey, how about 10
I
minutes
sold it
from
4
now?
years
You
ago.
know, you want to talk about Facebook madness? I've got one. So I
Well, let's get
okay,
into
go
our
do
first
your
beer,
thing.
though.
That's
Let's get into our first
man.
beer, though,
I've
but
got
that-
one
but
as well.
that's-
I have a good story.
I've got plenty, man.
I got screenshots. Well, I showed y'all
Yeah.
the fucking screenshots and all that. But yeah, so that's how we're
Okay,
gonna grab
yeah.
the first beer. Muggle,
My buddy up north, Justin, he does like drift events and shit. He does like a wholesale business for wheels, and a lot of stuff he advertises on Marketplace. He gets it so often, and he posts screenshots on Facebook. Even being the owner of this business too, and everything. He's like, some things these people like I get the same way too. The Marketplace it's different than Craigslist.
Yeah.
It's like Craigslist, but no, hold on.
Is it the Ultima version of Craigslist?
I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I'm maxing in a Maxima.
Yeah,
Like,
so you
Well,
got,
I mean, because like I said,
you get everything. You get everything. You get the ultimate energy, but you also get, I don't know what kind of stupidity to compare it to. I don't know what kind of car to compare that to. Like, the stupidity level of people,
Chris, do you want to do yours first or do you want to do mine first?
Mine.
Didn't you bring one?
No,
Brian
did.
Brian brought one. Oh, I
I'm
see.
not
Mine's in the
beer.
fridge there.
Okay.
you literally could, post your car for sale on Facebook Marketplace, and somebody will, message you going, what year is your Mustang? And then you'd respond, and honestly, they'd probably go, well, it doesn't look like that. It looks like it's this year. Or something like that. And it's
the wild stuff.
so wild.
I've had this with trying
Does
to
it
talk
run
to
and drive?
with trying to talk to people about stuff they had. Actually, the big block truck you and I went to pick up, that guy not knowing what he had. He had some story that this was a 402 out of a 72 El Camino with a 4L60E behind it that didn't have overdrive. And I'm like,
And
dude,
it was a mud toy.
And it was a mud toy only.
Like nothing worked on, but everything worked.
So
AC
heads
works
off,
and everything,
yeah, heads
like-
off, and the valves say, or the valve covers say, Grumpy's Blown 509. Come
Right.
to find out, it's a local performance shop's old supercharged big block that they made, and a transmission they put behind it as
Ooh.
their show truck.
And that's why the thing
And-
will pick the left front tire
and
up off the ground.
A dude, and I'll tell you,
He's got what is a 92
it's a 94.
K1500
2500. Yeah, so it is.
2500.
It is the
But it's 4-wheel drive. You know, it's
12
got
bolt
the,
commercial rear 411s on 37s with a 2-speed power glide.
Oh damn.
And dude,
So
See, when you said Grumpy, the first thing I thought of was Grumpy Jenkins, old school 63
Yeah.
racer.
these guys were at the shop are a bunch of old dudes. The guy actually sold it because he couldn't go out to the pits anymore. Couldn't take because it was a mud truck, and he was showing it to everyone with his built transmissions.
Yeah.
And he just couldn't take the dirt roads to get to the pits. And he sold it to this guy for $3,500. Guy got a side by side, sold it to me for $1,000 and 200 rounds of 556.
and he was a cool dude.
He and I,
Yeah, we
it
went there
hadn't
and got
started
running
for
and
2
shit.
years. Took us 30 minutes. I
Oh,
drove
yeah.
it home.
Nice.
Brian, is this the one?
This is the one. So
What is this?
I found.
Anything that says $3, I'm excited for.
Oh yeah, $3 are amazing.
Okay, so I found this at Publix. I'm not sure. It just says small batch series, so I'm guessing this is a one and done. This is $3 Brewing's Tropical Hefe Hazy Wheat.
You know what tropical hefe is, right? Well, hefe.
Hefeweizen.
No, I don't think it's that, to be honest, because it's a Florida thing kind of deal, like Spanish slang. Hefe, generally spelled like that, is the Spanish slang for boss.
Yeah,
So this is
But-
tropical boss.
but also too. Tropical Haze takes center stage in our fruit-forward Hefeweizen.
Never mind, I lied.
Smells
It's
good.
Hefeweizen.
As notes of coconuts and bananas play
that
alongside
name.
juicy mango and pineapple flavor for every sip of this hazy wheat ale sends you straight to the tropics.
It
That
smells.
banana smell is strong in this.
I was gonna say it's hers.
All right, gentlemen.
Gentlemen,
Happy Pints and Pistons. Happy Saturday, everybody.
Yes,
I'm glad
this is a
everybody
little bit
survived
different.
the weeks and everything. Thank you, guys.
Also,
Cheers.
congratulations, Chris.
Congratulations on the
Congratulations.
house.
Absolutely,
Chris.
buddy.
Oh, that's good. Oh,
Ooh.
banana.
Wow.
Coconut.
Wow.
Hold
Hell
on.
yeah, brother.
Hold on. Is that mango?
It is.
oh, there's that mango. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah.
Hey, imagine this with
I'm getting the
tacos.
banana and the mango as an aftertaste, really.
This
No,
mango
this
at
is
the
like
end.
mango
Yeah,
salsa
yeah.
tacos too.
this
Yeah.
Or
is
chicken
yo.
tacos.
This is for all
Yo,
Pine
this is
Street
good.
Snoof special. Is like tropical pulled pork sliders, where it's on the Hawaiian rolls and all that. With the
Nice,
pork
yeah.
with a pineapple like salsa thing.
Damn,
in it.
that's
Yeah. Okay.
Ooh.
This is
actually
almost like
good.
this is almost like
We get
smoothie
some
flavor.
Himalayan pink salt and slow roast a pork butt, some Kahlua pork going on those
Ooh.
Hawaiian rolls. I'll tell you
I
what.
had to do a slower.
I'll have to, let
There's,
you guys know a few recipes I learned when I was over in Hawaii. But I'll tell you, this kind of reminds me of one of the
Hey,
big
do
Kona,
a small
like the-
sip and lap it around your mouth.
Yo, it's got a banana hit. It's a
What is it?
banana hit,
Pineapple,
mango finish.
Mango.
yeah.
There's a slight hint of coconut on your breath after you.
That's really
That's
good.
only 4.6%.
Wow.
This is
Welcome to the beers we
Fantastic.
find.
Yeah, all right.
That is
This- yeah.
$3. That's top notch.
Yeah.
right
Everything
there.
we get from $3 has been absolutely.
Yeah.
So
At $3,
Facebook
they're
Marketplace,
Florida, by the way.
Not small batch, more.
So Facebook Marketplace. I have a good one. I when I was trying to get rid of the RX-7. I had the RX-7. It was 302 swap. I didn't have the money to finish the swap. So I put in the description
Beer list.
everything about the car.
Start scrolling.
I spent an hour making out the listing on this car. I describe everything down to a T. What it has in it, what it needs to be completed, everything. I get this kid messaging me, and he's messaging me for 4 hours while I'm at work. And I'm in between cars. I am answering his questions as he's asking them.
The girls love it.
And he's talking about trading, and I'm like, okay, I'm open to trades. What are you thinking about trading? And he starts asking me more questions. Like, listen, what are you trying to trade? And I finally, after I stopped answering his questions after 4 hours, because he won't tell me what he's talking about trading.
Fucking fantastic.
And
But
I
they
finally
no
go,
longer-
dude,
but they
question
no
mark,
longer say
question mark,
bitch on the
question
label.
mark.
Now it
What?
says
What are
B.
you trying to trade? Answer me. Oh, I can't trade you because I need to have a running car. First part of the description was, car is 80% complete. Car does not run. It's 80% complete, but it's not running yet. And he spent 4 hours asking me questions about this car.
I was in the hospital. I couldn't have partaken.
Asking about particulars of it, asking for extra pictures. 4 hours he wasted. Never had any intention of even coming to look at the car.
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
He was sitting around with his buddies. Hey guys, watch this.
I swear, dude. I'm like, really? I was at work. I'm trying to trade this car out, man. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, that's just Facebook Marketplace in a nutshell, though. And this was years ago. This was like 2014.
200 and something, almost 300.
Yeah.
So this was the early days of Facebook Marketplace.
What if you had? Because I kind of want to save mine for last, because I have the full-on listings that I can pull up right now and just read you this stupid... I mean, I've sent you a couple screenshots of things, and
I've got a...
Because I didn't want to trade for stolen ATVs
from a meth house
with the serial number scraped off of them.
I've had that and stuff. I think.
And then
I mean,
saying,
although,
but then also saying, "Well, I'll race you for Pints." It's like, obviously, you didn't read the description because it says car is non-running.
Right.
Although, I mean, I would venture to guess that stolen ATVs with the serial numbers removed are way more fun than legitimate ATVs.
I think my expedition.
I don't register mine. I found out recently you're supposed to. You're supposed to have a little sticker and stuff on your ATV, and I'm like, I've been riding ATV since the '90s, dude. We just went on trails in the woods, and we put it in the shed. This is how it worked.
Almost every day after school and shit. We
Yeah.
go right on public roads and shit.
Oh,
like
once-
5 to 10 of us together.
Yeah,
but
this
at
gentleman got a
least-
car before me, but I had a 4-wheeler and the means to go down those dirt roads
But at
much
least
more
they-
freely than he did.
at
So I would
least they
constantly
were
be out.
legitimately bought, though.
Fair enough.
Not
Absolutely.
Not stolen and
I-
filed the
I-
serial numbers off of
I
them
think
because you live in a meth
my
house.
expedition, like personally for me selling something, was probably my best bout, was the expedition. So I bought this expedition off my buddy Eric, and he already, same Eric,
Yeah.
he already briefed me on how this thing was kind of weird. It was a 03 Eddie Bauer, 200,000+ miles, but in great,
5.4, right?
yeah, 5.4, 4-wheel drive, great shape, all windows worked, it came with a sound system.
4-wheel drive, all-wheel drive.
Yep,
Not as
sunroof work. He even left his tag and his insurance on it for 2 months
paper.
for me.
These excursions
And
sound
the
great.
thing ran great. It's just when you got under a load, it would stutter really bad. Sometimes it wouldn't. Sometimes you could get up to like cruising speed fine. Other times you had your foot to the floor and it was like you had a clawed cat, like just and not going.
How'd that go again?
Just
checking.
Also,
One more time.
the PAT system was kind of funky. With which, if anybody
yes,
knows what the
yes.
PAT system is,
Yes.
If you had any 90s, early 2000s Ford, you know what that is.
so he found how the PAT system worked on this one was cutting voltage via the alternator. So there was a little signal wire that went to the alternator that would cut voltage if PATS wasn't engaged right. Sometimes his key would engage PATS, sometimes it wouldn't. He even got like 2-3 keys trying it. So basically, you got in it and you started it, and you would flip this little toggle switch and it would bypass it and keep constant voltage to the alternator. And that was fine. So it had that, and then it had the stuttery problem. Between Paige and I, we probably been about 15,000 miles on it, driving it for a few months, just playing, because it was fun. I had a 3-inch or a 4-inch body lift and like 33s on it. It was 4-wheel drive. It was huge. Kids spinning it
It was
great.
a
We took it out
couch.
camping and stuff.
Yeah,
It was
like, The
fantastic.
suspension was a couch.
And then it started getting really bad. And I was like, all right, I need to figure out if these cats are bad. So I checked.
Cut them off.
Well, I used a fancy thermal imagery unit of infraredness.
See, that's your problem. Cut them off.
See, I don't work
But
on anything
still-
newer than 2002, so I don't know about laser
No
beams.
check engine light, none of that. Ran like Dookie, cats were fine, Pat's problem. I got annoyed with it. I posted it up for sale or trade for pretty cheap, $2K. And this guy hit me up and he said, I got a car I want to trade for you. I really need an SUV, something bigger. And I said, all right, well, coming into this, did you read the full ad? And he goes, oh yeah, I did. And I said, so you know the thing's not running good. Like, I honestly think that it's down on compression and something's wrong with the motor. He said, it's probably fine. I really need an SUV. He said, do you think I can drive it back to Tallahassee?
No.
And I said...
At that point, you can't even lie to him. Like,
I was like, well, listen, man. Honestly, I probably wouldn't trust it driving it to Ocala if you can GPS the distance from my house to there. Maybe, if you're lucky. And he's like, all right.
Sounds like a yes to me.
He said, if you think it can, then that's fine. I said, well, what do you got for trade? And he goes, I got a 99 Civic 4-door. 5-speed manual. And I was like, all right, send some pictures.
His language.
So he sent some pictures. It looked like it had a rattle can paint job and some aftermarket cheapo Euro headlights and little side skirts and spoiler and shit. Like the not a big one, like regular one with a brake light. And he's like, I just don't have time, to mess with this car anymore. And I said, what's wrong with it? He goes, well, he's like, nothing, just the suspension sucks and we need something bigger. Like, me and my wife. And I'm like, well, this is bigger, but like, that's probably more reliable. And he's like, well, yeah, but she doesn't like it because it's loud and I did all this stuff with the engine and everything. And she's telling me I need to get an SUV. And if you would straight trade, I would greatly appreciate it. And I said, well, what's going on with the Civic? What's up with it? You said it's got stuff done. And he's like, oh, yeah, it does. JDM B20 with a VTEC head, full bolt-on, standalone ECU, launch control, everything.
Okay.
And I was like,
needs coilovers.
you want a straight trade? He goes, yeah, the coils are blown. It rides like ass. And I said, this expedition is going to blow up on the way home. Like, you know that, right? It's going to go bad. And this thing is like, and then like,
wasn't he the dude that kept saying like, well, if you say it'll make it,
it was,
even though you were
was,
saying stuff like
this
that?
Was a span
I
of
remember
like a week,
when this
and
happened.
in that week term,
Yeah.
my sunroof quit too, and it quit like halfway closed. Like I duct taped the headliner to keep water out, and I told him. He drove the Civic to my house, and I warned him several times. Like, listen, I know you drove all the way out here, and I tried to tell you, but like, dude, I don't think this is the right trade. Oh, this thing, man, it's got sound in it. Look at the seats go. Like, this thing's great, and they took off down the road, and I watched them go, and I said, okay. I never heard back, and I had the Civic. That Civic was actually respectably quick, like almost as quick as my car.
I remember that Civic.
Yeah, and I ended up trading that from the black truck, which that became another total nightmare, but that was a Facebook Marketplace thing.
I
but
do love that. I love that black truck.
That black truck was cool.
That black truck got us
And I
our
put it in the
first
wrong
ban.
hands. And I put it in the
got
wrong
us our
hands,
first
too.
ban on YouTube, man. It did. It got us our first ban, and that was also a 3-day endeavor of live streams. That, man, during our first
You'll have
first
to hear,
couple months.
you're not familiar with the story, all right? You'll have to hear it. We'll have to do it later because it's not a Facebook Marketplace thing, but it's a friggin' story. I'll tell you what.
Oh man.
But
They were at it long enough that all of us were over there putzing with it at one time or another. The only real contribution that I made is I went over there and just smacked shit with a hammer until shit fit.
you helped me take the hood off, though.
I did. But
That
then the
was-
rest of the time I basically just smacked things with a hammer until it went in the hole.
And that was fine with me
It
because
finally took the other Mike to come over with a torch and all
Yeah.
that stuff to get
well,
stuff to
no,
fit
not
off.
for nothing. Not for nothing. I don't know if Brian just has the magic touch or he's super fucking upper arm strength hidden.
No, he's
because,
Clarkson.
Because he come up there and he got the hammer. I'm fucking with something. He just goes, BAM, and it's done. And I was like,
Clarkson.
Clarkson.
I've mentioned
Clarkson
it.
magic.
Like, I'm just all right. Can you hit this with a hammer too? Then while you're riding? Like, just start hitting everything with a hammer for me.
Listen,
But,
come over tomorrow. Hit my house with a hammer. Make it done.
Yeah, actually, you know what? When I
Pretty
had
sure
that-
there'll just be holes in the wall.
When I had that one probe too, I had so many people ask me, like, so if I had it up for $500, it was a rolling shell.
Yeah.
And all these people said, so 500 and I can take it home? And I was like, yeah. And they said, all right, so does it need a battery or does it run? And I'm like,
It's a shell.
it's a shell. There's no motor or tranny in it.
Flintstone, bro.
It's a Probe GT with only 100,000 miles with a clean-ass interior and body. Like, motor and tranny's gone. And I had so many people do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, I would
Yeah.
say, too, like, yeah, you can take it home. Oh, really? So it runs and everything? I'm like, did you read the description? And the times where people are like, oh, yeah, I did. I'm like, you fucking liar! No, you obviously didn't. It was in the first line.
Oh,
That
my goodness.
rolling shell.
That
You didn't
actually
read
reminds
anything.
me. That actually reminds me of specific Facebook madness that I am simply over. I own a 2002 Camaro Z28 with an LS1. It is an LS motor. LS. Why the fuck, with everyone that has a GMT 800 thinks they got a Corvette murder in their goddamn Suburban that's like squatted in the ass and sailing to the moon anytime they drive, and they're like, LS parts for sale.
Because
And
it
it's
has
like,
an L. It
no,
has an
it's
L.
not. Everything's
There's an
iron.
L, but
There's so much
the
iron everywhere.
The first letter is L, so it must be an L.
Oh,
It doesn't matter
and
if
I
it's
got in an
LQ or
argument
whatever,
with someone
It's like,
on
well,
GMT
no,
800.
I have an LS. You have an
Yours?
LQ.
Oh,
You might
bro.
have what? An LQ4? I have
Exactly.
an LS1.
Or
Well,
yeah,
Q's
it's like
better than S,
your,
right?
Yeah, your LQ4 is not an LS6. They are two separate motors. When I ask for an LS, and I have an LS intake on my Z28, which actually came factory because it was a late 2002, and they were running out of parts, so
Bananas.
super cool.
Bananas.
And what was
What do you
it?
mean my banana won't fit in an orange? Come on, man.
The thing is,
But just searching anything along the lines of LS motors for sale, and the amount of Suburbans, Silverados,
5.3s
GMCs,
and
4.8s,
4.8s. Even
5.3s.
LTs. We'll
Dude,
call it
I
LSs.
know. And then
I got
in the
another
description it'll say,
brother.
right before the LS motor. And it's the pre-LS, not a new LT motor. And then I'm like, and it's not the old LT motor either.
No, the only new LT motor you got is what comes in the ZL1 with the
What is it?
it's
The
an
LT4.
4, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a supercharged V8. That's the only current LT right now.
The big block in the truck started as an LS3, but from 72.
you guys are all talking about, like baseball's marketplace and before that Craigslist, but
Yeah.
I'm from the era of the classified ads.
Yeah.
How does that pan? Please.
Dude,
Let's
Oh,
live
Hey,
some
okay.
golden times.
Hold on. I actually got my first car off of a classified ad, then seen it on the side of the road and then getting it.
I know it might be an old story, but you might need to tell him about the 300ZX.
okay, so that wasn't even a classified, that was just I saw it on the side of the road. But anyway, classified ads. It was back before the days of these,
Sure. Yeah.
which means you had a thing on the wall in your kitchen.
That with a cord that you.
And
yeah.
if you were fancy, you had a long ass cord so that you could go to your kitchen to just about all points of your house through doorways and shit with it.
So you can
And-
hide the conversation
Well,
with your
and then
parents.
also clothesline every single other fucking person in the house.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So
Communications were weaponized.
So basically, if you were too cheap, or you were conspiracy theorists and didn't trust the newfangled wireless handsets, well, you could still have a long enough cord so that even though your phone was mounted to the wall in the kitchen, you could still go drop a deuce and sell a car from a classified ad.
Or,
Okay?
or I have to say, like our three.
Why do I feel like you've dropped a deuce while selling a car on the phone now? That
Because
you
he
said
probably
that?
has.
Corded.
But just
Corded.
Nothing
side
to poke
note,
shit in the woods.
Fair
the
enough.
horrible blue phone that was on our kitchen wall had a 300-foot cord onto it, and
Oh, yeah.
my mom could go out to the mailbox.
Oh yeah, you could.
And walk back and
fantastic.
literally like strut
Oh, yeah, you-
out, and the amount of times running through the house.
Oh no, like I said, you would answer the phone and take the call, but it's like, hey, I'm trying to sell this car, but also got to take a deuce. So you take the car, grab the phone, you go in, take a deuce, and when you come back out, two of your dogs are wrapped up in the cord.
Also,
why is the phone trying to pull from
pre
my hand?
pre-mute times on those corded phones. So like flushing
Hand
toilets,
over- yeah,
hand,
hand
over
over-
mics.
hand
so
over-
hard.
Yes.
Super seal.
But the thing is-
and let them do it while they're talking.
The thing
Not
is-
perfect. Like,
These in Facebook Marketplace did not create more stupid people.
it
brought out
allowed
more of them to
Yes.
It just made it easier for the stupid people to be interacted with.
Right.
Yeah.
In the olden days, they
What?
had to be smart enough to figure out how
Numbers.
to look at the number and dial it on the phone. And now there's a little button
Right,
to just
yeah.
go message.
And then it says, "Hi, is this still available?"
Right,
Hi, is
it's
this still
automatic.
available?
But that did not weed out all of the stupid people because some of the stupid people, well, they're determined. So
There's a
yeah,
will, there's a way.
there's many times it was, like I said, the ad would be in the paper. Oh, how much you want for it? Read the ad. It was the same thing.
How many
A lot of-
miles are on it?
It was in the ad.
Read the
Yeah,
ad.
exactly.
Yeah, it was in the ad. You know, or when they would sound reasonably intelligent, then they would actually show up to purchase said car, and then the stupid would fully reveal itself.
Yeah.
It was just as bad. It just took longer to get from the place the ad to encountering the stupid.
Your headlights out, sir.
What did I say? One of the guys talking about the stupid showing up and everything seemed right until then. The guys that show up and you realize about a few minutes into conversation that their sole intention is to lowball.
Oh yeah.
Whether they are poor and only have so much money in their hand and this is their dream thing or whatever, or they're just that guy that brought the trailer.
Yeah.
And you were asking, $1,500 for a shell, right? And he shows up and he's like, oh yeah, and talks and lets you talk it and do the whole thing for him to go, man, I got $330. And they just look you in the eyes. And it's like, what?
Can I guilt you?
Yeah.
Can I shameless?
Do it.
I'm the friend who comes as the mechanic every time.
Oh, I love being that asshole.
Even if I'm the one going to look at my car, I'll bring a friend with me of any sort and be like,
That's their car.
You're the one
Yep,
buying it.
exactly.
I'll give them the money, and I'll hold a couple $100. And then I'll play the mechanic and be like, well, there's this, there's this, and the guy someone's like, oh man, there is. And then lowball them, and if they're like, well...
Your
I'll be
low
like,
balls are still like 60 to 80% of the price. They're not low balls. They're like
yeah,
reasonable
but
offers.
In my opinion, it's still a low ball because it's under asking price.
Oh, sure.
Especially under non-OVO terms. And
Yeah.
so I'll have my friend do it, and I'll be the one like, yo, man, I'll spot you $100. Like, I'll pull out my wallet and be like, I'll spot you $100 if he'll come up 100. And 90% of the time, they're like, you know what? You're right. You brought the guy out here. He looked, and I should have paid attention to that stuff. It's a fair deal, and still make out on top. But some of these people, though, like, they have such big problems that they don't mention, and then you drive all the way out to look at it.
Oh
And
yeah.
it's evident.
Oh, we had an
Yeah.
experience with that recently. A buddy of mine found a car on Marketplace. And I just looked at the pictures. I'm like, you want to go look at this? He's like, yeah. I'm like, all right. We went out, and I was like, and we actually did drive this piece of shit. Loosely using the phrase drive, and brought it back, and I was like, God, no. I was like, tell you what, you pay us $200, we'll take it out, and we'll bash it through the
Get
forest.
rid of it for you.
We'll bash it
right.
through the forest until it breaks fully, and we'll just leave it there.
Right?
Well, it's one day after work, me and my friend Reese went all the way to Orlando to look at a Mazda Speed 3 because he was interested in them. And he wanted me to come because, I've got experience. And that's like, that was a genuine thing. And this one, it was an 08 Grand Touring with like, I think 100,000 miles. Thing was sweet, full bolt-ons, tuned, came with the tuner, all that stuff. Really clean, no oil leaks, nothing bad. And we get out there and we get to the car. Car looked like top notch. Like I would have bought it. Like just driving up and seeing it was that clean. And got into the car and like the guy came out, we talked, and I was like, all right, let's take it for a rip. And he turned the key on before he started it, and he said, dude, it said operating temperature. And I was like, here we fucking go already. And I said, do you really want to see if the guy will let us like wait for it or what? And he's like, yeah, maybe the guy just wanted a last hurrah or whatever. So we talked to the guy, we're like, listen, I want to wait for it to be a cold start. Can we come back in like an hour or two? So we ran out down there in Orlando and found some food and shit, came back, started the car up, blew smoking like just like a two-stroke, just out everything. And I looked at my buddy and I was like, yeah, he was going to try to dupe you. Because when the car warmed up, even like only under full throttle, if you looked in the rearview mirror, you would have noticed a little bit of blue smoke, but at idle, cool down, the thing needed a ring so bad.
Well, and then also those cars like mine, you go onto full throttle, you're pumping out so much black smoke
That you can't tell when other
exactly.
color smoke is. Yeah, exactly. And
I
I was
hate
like,
when that
no.
happens.
We had that happen 3 times
the
before
dark
we
gray
found
comes
his
out.
Speed 3.
Mm.
Like, just so people try to cover up problems and stuff and think that they could just like pass something off. And like every time I've had something like that happen, I warn people like, listen, I'm trying to pass this car off. It's gonna have problems. Jew me down if you want.
Yeah, well, like I said, this Mustang we looked at.
Sorry,
it was a convertible.
Lowball me. I didn't mean to say that.
And
Sorry.
it was a convertible. and the ad said new top, and basically what it was the top from another car that was like stapled and tech screwed to the frame of the original car. I mean, that's what we're talking about here. That's what we're talking about here. I mean, it was bad, and I think going down the road, everything underneath the car was hanging down and scraping off the road, and just
Yikes.
like the transmission would sometimes shift and sometimes wouldn't shift. And I looked at it, I was like, okay, look, I saw it was a cheap shit box, but this is beyond even what how bad even I thought it was going to be.
I still remember the time I drove all the way to Sebring.
It's a good drive.
Been there.
To go
Been
look
there.
at a 3 Series.
Okay.
Well, it's not
They
really clean
forgot
today,
to take a picture of the driver's side.
Oh my
Where
god, dude.
the whole quarter panel was just caved
Were they
in.
hit like
'Cause the
guardrail
price
or
was
the
right,
pole or
wasn't it?
Because the
something?
price was
The
right.
price was right, and those 7 pictures were so great.
The rest of it looked
Oh,
great,
dude, that's
but that
solid.
one side of the car was completely caved in, and I'm like, I just drove 4 hours. 4 hours to look at this car.
Yep.
Or same thing when you're like, it's their problem is they took pictures from 7 months ago, and it has been parked under an oak tree since.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you show up, you saw all these like, well, hey, maybe like if one head gasket's blown on a V6 or something, let's go check this out. You get there, and it is just like spring and summer and fall had already hit. This has got nothing but like dirt on the
Yeah.
windshield wipers.
Like, you
the
can't
tires
even get
are like
into
flat.
it because
Exactly.
the leaves have built up around it.
And then the mold smell when you open it up. Oh.
I've seen it on the shelf and I haven't bothered with
Yingling's
it.
Lord Chesterfield Ale.
Zach, do
The
you
old
want
Chetty?
to try this or?
I got a chetty here.
I know, but you got still half. I didn't know what you want to you want to pawn that off on other people, or you want to finish your half, or
If someone wants to down this.
I'm not able to down.
pass
Okay.
it down
I'm,
there.
Say,
yeah,
we'll split
I'm-
it.
Relay that on back.
And whose beer is this?
This is Michael's.
I mean, it was a 12-pack of it, but we haven't tried it yet. This is one of the new Yingling ones, and if you give me a second, I'll actually pull up their website and read a description of it.
Okay. That's what I was looking for.
It smells like England.
Because as I was
Yingling
telling some of the
Lord
others,
Chesterfield.
Lord Chesterfield Ale, Chetty.
when I drank more, Yingling Green Bottle was my drink of choice.
Yep, so
As-
the other one that we have, that one's the premium, which is different, is a full-on lager versus the amber lager.
Okay.
So this one is a new one that we have just recently started to get.
Very good.
It is the Lord Chesterfield Ale. One of our heritage beers, Yingling's Lord Chesterfield Ale, has a much rich heritage as it does flavor and appeal. Crafted in crafted in a unique 2-stage European brewing style for enhanced bitterness. It utilizes both conventional kettle hopping and dry hopping after fermentation, resulting in a dry, sharp finish. Its distinct, robust flavor is derived from a deluxe combination of sweet maltiness and
Dan?
lingering herbal bitterness.
With you, buddy.
It's 32 IBUs, 5.4%. It is a Euro thing, 157 calories and only 10.5 carbs.
I was gonna say the way you were describing it that it's gonna sit heavy on the belly because
That's fine.
Ooh,
Cheers,
it smells
cheers,
good.
gentlemen.
Cheers, boys.
Enjoy your Lord Chesterfield Ale.
Lord
Lord Chesterfield.
And who knows,
Here's to Lord
maybe it'll get
Chesterfield.
better once it warms up like their refrigeration units.
Ooh, shit.
Hey, that's not bad.
Oh, hey, I like
Oh, what?
Ugh.
Yeah, hold
that's
You
a
on.
don't
little
like that?
Not a fan.
Hold on.
I'm gonna have like an obligatory second sip to confirm,
It's
but because I'll try anything twice. That's how I know I
Really?
like
I
lima
found
beans
something
and
that
not
Dan
butt
doesn't
stuff.
like? Chris, you like it though.
It's dry, but it's not unpleasant.
No.
No,
That's not for me.
I'm not gonna lie.
I'm out.
I'll probably drink it, but that's
Nope, I'm out.
I won't actually.
Really?
I don't mean to offend.
No, you
That's,
won't offend.
No, listen. I brought
Okay, wait a minute.
I brought Michelob Organic one time.
No,
And
we
I-
bought one that literally is in the fire pit, and we shot it with a BB gun.
I did. I
It
actually.
tastes like peroxide.
It smelled like bleach and tasted like peroxide.
Yeah, it was
I
bad.
literally spit it out.
You know what? I'm
But-
gonna let it warm up a
I
little
will say
bit,
this
to be
about that
honest.
particular beer. When I grabbed it, I just saw, like it was a wheat beer. I'm like,
Mm.
all right, cool. And when I got home, I saw low carb or
Cool.
no carb, and I'm like, wait,
Chris
how
is
the fuck
on
do you do
something.
no carbs in a beer? And that's when
It's
I
a
started
less
looking into it and
gritty
found out what it
version
was.
of Newcastle.
And that's when I started.
Yes! It's Newcastle without the grittiness.
Yes.
That's what it is.
And I started looking at it, I'm like, I don't trust the yeast strain that's in this stuff. So I went,
Sure.
I did went, and
And I
I got
love
another
Newcastle.
beer for the
I
show,
haven't
which
had
turned out to be
Newcastle in
phenomenal.
15
Okay.
years.
But
and it just
I ended up calling it
instantly hit
trash
just
water.
like a
But I figured,
Newcastle.
you know
I was
what?
like,
I did buy this
Wait
shit.
a minute.
I just always thought
Oh
that.
shit!
I'll bring
You're
it.
right.
I just
Let
always,
it
And if
warm
somebody
up a
wants to
little bit. I
try
bet
it,
it
they
tastes
can.
better.
I was
And
gonna
we
say,
did,
I
and it
think
was actually worse
it
than
tastes
his
like it'll be
Michelob
better
Organic
warming,
Ultra.
warmed up.
I also
I
love
think
the,
that's
Absolute
that
trash
is
water.
supposed
Yeah, I
to
was
be a
gonna
room
say,
temperature
like
beer.
this Chesterfield
I like
here.
it.
I like the can
Um,
design.
It's
I
something
like-
about like
I
when
like-
it passes the throat. I wish I knew more words
bitter,
to
though.
describe.
No, it's the
It's-
taste.
We've
straight
been doing
up.
this for 5 years.
That's
we
what
don't
I
know-
mean.
No.
Oh.
We still don't know what the fuck.
Okay,
it
Yeah,
is.
no,
so
we don't.
we
let
either
me
like
let me
it or-
describe the mouthfeel that the back of my throat was experiencing when it went down both times. I'm gonna wait for it to get warm
So-
because this actually
so
tastes like
was
one that
it,
would be better
Took
warm.
all the
think it will be.
happiness out of your mouth.
It just left
That's my
like
description.
right back in the back.
So
like
it took
both
all the
times.
happiness out of your mouth. That's
It
how,
did not
that's how
spark
we
joy.
normally feel about IPAs. While
Yeah.
Dan's like, I like cat piss and drinks.
Bearded
Well, no.
hipster mistakes cat piss
You know
for
what?
beer.
You know what?
I get what you're saying though. It's almost like
I want to pair it with a cigarette and see if it makes it better.
It might
It's-
let it
'cause
warm
I-
up. Let it warm up about
Yeah,
10,
exactly.
15 degrees because
But
my
it's-
feeling, like Chris
It's
is
almost
saying,
like a desiccant though in the back of your mouth. When it hits the back of your throat, it's like it pulls every bit of moisture
All
out.
the
and then
moisture
goes
is
down.
That's
gone.
dude.
And
I
you're,
don't like
dry.
that at all.
yeah.
Like-
let it.
I get that.
Let
I
it,
think this might be. Yeah, I'm gonna
let it go
warm
up about
Ah.
10, 15 degrees
Sure.
because if it's saying the way that's supposed to be a European, basically
Those-
saying
those are meant
it's
to be room
yeah,
temperature.
It's a warm brown.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's meant to be
Well,
a
it's
warm
not
brown.
it's not a brown. This would be the light. So you know
Yeah.
how like the World War II training videos was like, hey, you're about to go into a pub. They're gonna ask you, do you want a brown or a light? And it was well, what beers are those? No, do you want light or brown? That's gonna be it. Oh, by
Right.
the way, they drink theirs warm. So
Right,
here you
we
go.
drink it at room temperature because Lucas made our refrigerator.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was- yeah, when I was
Lucas
in,
Electronics made our refrigerators, so they don't work. Here you go.
Have you got actually as many episodes as you've had? It's a Chinese beer called Chang.
No.
Have you had Chang? Okay. This
I've had
flavor
Sapporo.
actually reminds me of Chang, but that whole dryness and the bitter in the back of the throat is unique to it.
It almost
Chang
has,
warm
has like
is
a gin hit to the
is
back of it.
right? And
No,
I don't
you know-
like gin,
Oh,
dude.
see, I love gin. It's one of those you get that
Mm-hmm.
flavor up front, but then it's that dry that hits. But no, I
Yeah.
do.
It's your turn.
Oh, Mike says he's heading to Pennsylvania tomorrow.
Yes.
He's wanting to pick us up some local beers.
Yes,
Nice.
so,
Hell
so
yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Mike.
he was gonna be doing that earlier, but then the whole hurricane and all that stuff, so it delayed his trip. He forgot to tell you guys. He sent me a message saying that
I'm guessing not
he
much
wasn't
of an
able to.
improvement.
But
It was
he's
an
going up there.
improvement,
He's
but it
gonna
was
try to
like-
find us a couple local beers.
Let
for
it
back.
just set on
Zach.
the tongue for a second. Do the old wine slush, and
Zach
when it went
first.
down, it wasn't nearly as bad as like when I was just drinking it.
Yeah, still, I'm out.
I'm not trying to wine it out.
Mike,
though.
Mike
I'm out.
who's commenting, is Big Mike. He works at a
Napa.
semi-local Napa, yeah, and he's got a Falcon gasser.
A
in
64
the building.
Falcon gasser. That is amazing.
Super cool dude. We've had him on the show multiple times. He's
Oh,
one of
yeah.
us too.
He-
He
He's doing.
appreciates everything.
Yeah, he got us a clock.
Yes, that's
Um,
yeah.
Hey,
But
nice.
he-
It's a hub assembly.
But he's doing all his work in his shed. So his shed is basically his garage. It fits a car. He does everything in that shed.
And
Yeah.
like,
It has-
just-
it
and like
has
him,
one
like
outlet.
everything himself.
Yeah,
like
it has-
everything.
It has one electrical outlet, so it's fan or welder, or fan or this. And so most
Yeah.
of the time he's doing all that, and he is doing amazing work to this vehicle. And
Can't wait
man,
to see that.
oh man,
Like, he's running for like a he's gonna build it for a certain class. He was
Yeah,
saying,
the
too.
Ventus Gasser class
Yes.
that's going on, and currently right now the way it sits, it just has that.
It's
it
Gasser, bro.
Oh
It's-
yeah,
it's
yeah,
down
straight
up.
axle.
Rake.
Oh
Yes.
well, no,
That's a-
front end's up, straight axle across the front of it. Yeah,
Oh
it-
shit!
Oh, dude,
yeah.
it's sick, bro.
Yeah, that's gotta look pretty sick.
Local, yeah, like, dude, you would like. And he's a cool dude. He's
Yeah,
good.
he's a really cool dude. And the
He is.
thing about the gassers are, they're not the fastest things you're going to see at the track, but they are by far the most entertaining things you're going to see at the track.
He says he graduated to 3 outlets, by the way.
Oh yeah.
So yeah,
Especially gassers with manuals. Those things are going down the track, and those things are just
Right.
moving and all over the damn place.
Well, see, I mean, we always compare. We always compare, like, you know, Dan and I were just talking about this on a ride from the store, wherever we were doing. Horsepower numbers and ratings, and 0 to 60 times a today, gearing, automatics, and how they win races and why. But it's fun to drive slow cars fast.
Oh, hell
and
yeah.
old muscle
Oh, yeah.
cars weren't meant to be fast. They were meant to be
rowdy.
rubber rippers.
yeah,
Just
and pure
so
driving
much.
experience.
Even in the like smog era, the torque was still there for those one-wheel peels. They just didn't put the LSDs in the back
well,
anymore.
He drove my car last week,
Well,
by the way. He got
it's-
to feel like the fun feels.
Yeah, turbo noises.
Well, it's one of those
Not for the
like
diesel
when,
truck.
when you have
Did he tell you that I've also driven that car?
Yes.
when you have a lot of the boomers that are like, you know, oh well, you know, I had a '68 Camaro and it could do this. Yeah, well, your car only topped it with your 4-speed and your 410s that you had. It only topped out
Exactly.
at 98 miles per hour. Like you were only doing a 14-second quarter mile, but goddamn, it was fun. Like I
Yeah, but if you want
understand
like
that,
high
but-
11s, it's just moving to 373s because
Yeah.
that was the technology back then.
yeah.
Highway speeds were 55, man.
If you
Exactly.
were
So
able to drive my car in Mexico on a long highway, it'll hit 165 bouncing off the rev limiter in 6th gear.
yeah.
But that's obviously only in Mexico on a
Yes.
long highway.
Mexico.
So,
No.
Well, it's like I've had this argument before. It was when the Stinger came out. I had a coworker that was arguing with me. Oh yeah, that's so much faster than your Mustang. And I said, okay.
Yeah.
Because I took a Stinger out for a rip. I took a V6 GT Stinger
Nice.
out for a
Take
rip
it
and
too.
gave it everything. And I'll say, that car was fast.
Yeah.
Like, you put it in launch mode, and you let off the brake, and you mat the gas, and it just goes that way really fast with zero drama. And it was
and that's
boring.
But and
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah.
90%
Because
of modern
in
vehicles
my car,
are. Super
you just-
fast, wonderful, even SUVs.
You just
Fuck.
described driving a Tesla.
no. Well, like
But-
with Chris's car, it's.
But you
raw.
get in my car,
It's a driving
you rev it up, you
experience.
dump the clutch, it spins the tires, it's getting sideways, it's fighting you, you're slamming the next gear,
Everything's
it's breaking loose
bumping
again.
and rattling
You're-
around.
Yeah, everything's rattling, it's making all this noise.
And you're at 30 miles per hour.
And I'm getting past that minivan while doing this.
I was gonna say,
But-
honestly,
But
I'm
look at your
having
smile.
fun.
You're like, yeah!
not for nothing though. Like in all driving experience, Chris and I could both take one of those Stingers and in Mexico just show them what the fuck is up. Just saying. Just saying.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
still, I can concur on what he said. Like, dude, you turn every assist off that it allows you race mode.
Even with that, it's still.
It was like, all right, oh, okay, all right, we're going fast.
It's
Like,
engineered to do that.
So
like-
what?
like
so
we're
what
still-
you guys are describing is emotion.
Right. Where's the pantomime?
The Stinger doesn't have emotion. The Tesla doesn't have emotion.
Right.
just like old Lamborghinis.
That his shit box has all kinds of emotion.
That is a.
So-
His shit box
Yeah.
has all kinds of emotion.
So
Right.
it's basically
Drama.
It's
Your car
basically-
has all
it's-
kinds of emotion. Even
it's
my car has
basically
a
Rocky
given amount
IV.
of emotion, given what it is.
It's basically Rocky IV, Rocky versus Russian guy. Where yes, he hits harder. He is a mean, lean fighting machine, all that stuff. But you have he can hit hard, do all this stuff, but he has no raw emotion. Where you have Rocky, that's like, I'm punching meat in the locker, like
Yeah.
It's one of those. Who's having more fun?
The will to race, you know? Because when you're playing in the race cars, like a Stinger or the Teslas now, like they can't be considered race cars even if they keep up. They're not.
They're not. No.
And-
It's one of those
like,
you can't
you
fully
have-
race them at the track. You do one pass, you're out.
Yeah, like
You
it's.
do one pass, you're out. Your car's past 1050. Where's your cage?
Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
it's
Yep.
I need spectator drags at our local drag strip, damn
But
it.
no, we need spectator drags that are. Hey, they
That's what I'm just saying.
No, they started doing spectator drags. Did they?
No, they need
Yes.
it right now and to let me enter it because
No, seriously, they started to do spectator drags again.
Really?
I'm dead serious. They
I'm
started
serious.
Aren't they?
I
Don't
will-
they do eighths or no?
No, the circle track.
Oh,
no,
circle track.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Spectator
you go
drags.
around, you do.
Right, yeah,
you go
okay,
left.
yeah,
you know
yeah.
Yeah.
They started doing them again.
Ooh, I'd be down there in a heartbeat.
Bro,
That's fine with me.
I'll bring the Camaro. Want to go? 1v1 me on.
Brett ended up
Oh,
crashing.
for sure.
1v1 me,
fun
bro.
history.
Well,
We decided to
1v1
keep
me in the
from
Mustang.
crashing
Let's
Oh,
go.
Listen, because
No.
all day because the guy who lives close to me, who has the same Mustang as yours, except his has everything the same as yours done, but he's got a cam.
Uh-huh.
No tune though.
So it doesn't.
Then
run
he
right.
doesn't have a cam.
Yeah.
It sounds like he's got a cam, and I told him he
No,
needs
he's
a tune.
got, or he has a ghost tune,
No,
or
well, no.
he's missing,
No, he had
or
no.
a bad vacuum leak.
No, like he actually, like he put the cam in and all that. He just like, I haven't got it tuned. I can't
Well,
find somebody
two-
who I
two
want to tune it.
cams. Anyway.
2 cams.
And it sounds nasty, but like,
Oh yeah, no, the 4.6 3-valve with a pair of hot rod cams, or
Oh,
a pair of
the thumpers?
or a
Yeah.
pair of the thumpers, or a pair of Detroit rockers. They sound amazing.
and I delivered the sauce unto thee. But at the same time, too, like, I don't know, like,
Dude.
he was with me for my most recent one. Like, if you want to tell him
Which
to kill,
one?
you can.
I was gonna say which one because there was a
The-
RT Challenger
Yeah,
that
the
wanted
Challenger,
to play.
The Challenger.
And-
who had the head start, by the way.
Yeah, and that's just it. Red light, we're both there. He and I are talking. This guy, like, I could tell from my periph he was looking over. You know what I mean? Okay,
Probably
cool.
that I identify as red. Cause it was
Sure,
that-
yeah, exactly.
I'm
Everyone's
like,
always,
yeah.
and I'm on the passenger side, so like windows down, and I'm getting people that are like, "Ah, that is cool, man." It's like, yeah, but like I'm trying to have
Thank
a
you, Brian.
conversation.
That's seriously the best thing you've ever done.
Light turns green.
My car is fantastic for that.
That has got to be the best car mod I will
Dude,
ever do.
Absolutely. Light turns green. Challenger starts to go. I mean, it forgets that it's like 4,480 pounds. Whatever. She a little chonky,
And
but
we
she
were-
starts to go, and
we
he
weren't
is
sure.
just.
I was like hesitant in first
yeah,
gear.
he didn't even. So there's no chirp or nothing through first, and he's like, "Wait a second." So he brings it up to that 5 or 6. Second, and then the chirps came because he was already at like pretty decent speed. And then there were no chirps in third, which happens when he goes at it raw. This was a nice roll for him,
flat foot shoot,
and
baby.
he just started walking that Challenger. Next night there was a Chrysler 300, same setup, you know, the Hemi C, and it wanted some sauce, and it did not. It did not do it either.
No, it was. And
And
dude,
then I drove it that first time. That's the first time, and I know you got the tune and stuff done while I was in the Army. I've moved his cars a few times, like before that. This was the first time I got in the driver's seat since all that work had been done so many years ago. Passenger seat, I thought that car was quick. That car's pretty fucking quick in the driver's seat.
Like-
Because I just eased into the gas pedal. He's like, dude, take it around the block. Go easy on her, nothing crazy. Thought I was easing into this throttle, and it was chirping all the way through first, and I started giggling. And he knows that the giggle's bad because I went right to second.
Uh-huh.
And
The-
it's been
the
like
focus
4
is-
years since I've been in a manual, and it
hey,
just
the
it
focus
felt
is
like
the same.
home.
Dude, you got to do the focus. It's the same way. Like when you
Except
crest
I also
over.
now, instead of a dual mass 80-pound flywheel, I have a single
Dude.
mass 30-pound flywheel and a stage 2 plus clutch.
So we're
And-
same setups, but he's got the de-stroked version. He's a 2-liter. That
with
motor with that flywheel and
slightly
shit.
smaller turbo, so I peak at 23.5 at
That motor,
$4,000.
his motor spins. You literally do that to the throttle, and it's like almost 5,000 RPM. Wham! It's
His
it's
car
nasty.
is so easy to drive.
It is too, and it's
I'm
more
saying that from
comfier.
my perspective. His
Dude,
car is so easy to drive.
his seats too. Like I wish my car had
Caros in them.
the
so.
Ford Sync system. His has got all that like. I wish
just hit
I wish I had your
96,000
interior
miles,
and technology, but in my car.
Oh,
Like-
there's me doing a 2-3 pull right through here
Mm-hmm.
in his car, and in that one too.
Yeah, I was gonna say
in both
both.
of them.
Well, really quick, I just want to talk about my marketplace madness.
Yes,
I
go
got
for
it
it.
pulled up here. So
Yeah, this will
this
take
is
the
recent, too.
this will take the place of the auction car because I fell asleep on the couch and
And-
didn't do
So
it.
Wait, well, hold on. Before this, so You guys who have been on the channel for a long time, you know the Cobra.
Yeah.
And due to certain circumstances recently, Mike has decided he needs to sell the Cobra.
Yeah,
So you guys
and-
have seen what we've done with the Cobra. You've seen what the Cobra is and how it is and everything.
Tomorrow, if the Marketplace Madness actually works,
Goes
tomorrow at 10 a.m., they should be showing up here, and we should be loading it onto a trailer.
So that's how recent this is, and this will be
pile of cash money.
the messages he got into the Cobra Madness.
Yeah, so this is one of my favorite ones that basically the guy just came off the back, not even with like, hi, is this available? Just straight offending me. Just straight, instantly, just guy messaged me and is, well, someone ran a car, that engine's gonna be rebuilt, which in my description describes everything. No crank, no start. Yes, there is coolant in the oil. All this stuff, and y'all saw the description.
Oh, yeah.
I described everything.
You were very good with
A
it.
gentleman
so-
that actually has, you know.
No, he actually
some-
put a
What?
proper
I-
description of the car.
okay.
And not like
Yeah.
4 paragraphs long, like
another
Prop-
man of culture. I
properly
appreciate you.
summarized with everything.
No,
too.
he kept it pithy.
quick and easy to read.
Beginning, middle, end, condensed. Bam, there's the ad.
Also, all the main important stuff like no crank, no
yeah.
start, oil thing,
Yeah.
asterisk, capital letters, like
Yep.
bam, boom. You're not gonna fucking miss that if you read the fucking thing. So instantly says that, and I'm like, yep, because that's literally what the fucking description says, and didn't fucking message me for like 3 days, and then was just like, well, I'm still following, looking to see when you're ready to release the car. We'll need a motor, any interior picks, which there is 12 picks, which are 4 of the outside, the rest are the interior and engine bay.
And nice pictures, not
And-
fucked up angles.
Yeah,
no,
covered pictures.
But-
I'm gonna say
but
already,
so-
I hate giving these kind of guys the time of day
But
because
so
sometimes
with
they
that,
have cash.
And then, will you tell me something about the car? Which literally it says in there, the day I bought it, when
I
I
would be
sold
like,
it to my
it's a
brother-in-law,
Ford
when
Mustang.
I got it
Did-
back to
Did
my
you copy
brother-in-law.
the description and just put it in there for him at some point? Because like,
And like all that, so I just told him like, all you had to do was just ask for pictures, and I'm like, I'm ready to release the car. That's why it's for sale. I didn't mean to offend you. That fix may be expensive. I'm like, that's why the car's for sale. That's why the description is what it is.
Yeah.
So I said,
that's why you're getting at the price that
yeah.
is
So
listing.
I
Come
sent
on.
interior pics, and I'm like, bottom and driver's seat is the only bad part of the interior. Leather, the leather Ford used dried out very fast on these cars, which it did. Then he just went through a whole thing. He finally came over, and it was this old guy that apparently is a local chiropractor, and just went into this whole fucking thing. Looked like Jimmy Buffett getting out of the fucking car and all of that. And the thing, and then he's like, "Oh, well, these aren't the original wheels." I'm like, "Yes, they are." I'm like, "That's 96 to 97 Cobra wheels." I'm like, 94 to 95 had them without the black inserts. Well, I've never seen these on a Mustang before. I'm like, it's like, well, I got a 99 and they didn't come with these. I'm like, yeah, because
No,
you
you
don't.
just-
yeah.
Because the
You
99
just said the
Right,
number.
right,
You
he's
just
the
said the
99
number.
had its own wheel.
Gave
Yeah.
him the answers
Yeah.
to the
So,
test.
But then it was that, and then it was like, so you did these mods? I'm like, no, I bought the car like that. Oh, so all that's gonna need replaced. And I'm like, well, no, like the suspension's still suspensioning. Like, well, these brakes aren't stock. Yeah, they are. I'm like, they're 13.5 discs up front, 10.5 in the back. Basically, the rear brakes are GT front brakes, and I'm like, and the front brakes are, the PBR 4-piston, well, 2-piston.
Yeah, she is a
brakes,
Cobra,
and I'm like,
right?
yeah,
like,
yeah,
you know,
it is.
yeah.
And I'm
It's
like,
like,
and I'm like, it's also a Team Z tubular front K member.
Ooh, shift that motherfucker. Let's go.
But I'm like, the Team Z tubular front K member. I'm like, it's got 373 rear gears. He's like, oh, so that's not a Ford gear. And I'm like, what?
Yeah,
He's like,
uh,
well, no, they never came with that. I'm like, yeah, this car came with the 327. I'm like, it's a 373. Well, yeah, no, that wasn't from Ford. I'm like, it's a Ford Racing 373 gear kit.
how many Ford rear ends have 373s in them that,
But,
like, you know,
like,
people have
but-
just bought and... Come on, dude.
Like,
It's-
I'm like that, and I'm like, yeah, and then some free connectors, I'm like, long tube headers, I'm like, off a race pipe, flow masters, I'm like, and then I got, the B&M short flow shifter, so that shifter's not stock. No, it's not stock, it's fucking short flow sister.
Like
Like,
B&M.
yeah, it's race
He's
car,
like, oh, well,
not
the-
like, a
the
Barrett
motor
Jackson.
shifted over to the left, so it must have gotten hit. I'm like,
That's how
no!
they're putting the fucking cars. We did that. You and me did that whole fucking thing where.
And I'm like,
That
listen!
was this guy who had
see
nothing
this
to do.
over
Who
on
needed
the
to waste his
driver's
time.
side?
Like,
I'm like, that is a Hydro Boost.
I was
I'm
gonna
like,
say that's why those cars
the
have
brakes
Hydro Boost, is to make
and
everything fit.
the brakes and the power steering are tied into one system. The motor is shifted over 1.5 inches from center. When you pop the hood and you look at it, it looks like it got hit. No, if you know
No,
anything
it's
about
how
the fucking
they're
cars,
supposed to
that's how
be.
it's supposed to fucking be. Whole fucking thing. Oh well, if you want to drop the price, let me know. And you fucking get. I'm like, I have it OBO. Just fucking give me an offer, and like as
Yeah,
long as
leave
it
me
was
a number.
intelligent, like
Yeah.
I would have offered it.
He said as long as it was an intelligent offer.
Exactly.
Unlike the
Unlike the other one that was like,
$2,000.
what did it take, $2,000? No.
No.
2,500. No.
No.
All right, $3,000. No. Like just at that point, because like you didn't. If you would have started at $3,000, I would have like no. And if you went up, no. It's like no. Fuck you. And then where was it?
No, the ATV one. No, the
Yeah,
used
no.
ATVs from the meth house. That's the
Yeah.
best one.
That-
See, as somebody who regularly lowballs Facebook offers,
and I mean, and I
I
did.
understand where you're coming from, but I'm at least I'm respectful with my lowballs. Hey, I would be at $2,000. Would you accept that?
Before
No.
you ever go to see it. Because I do it in
Right.
the messages, man.
Yes,
I'll
I do
tell
it
them,
in
I'm
the
like, look,
messages.
some,
Hey,
looking
I
at it,
would
talking
be
to you
at-
about
I
it,
would
I
be
have
at
this much in my
$2,000 on this.
pocket
Would that
for
be
it. Should I
something
drive
you'd be
out?
acceptable
And
for? And if they say no, no problem, man. Have a good one.
Yeah.
because sometimes
Which
other
I
people will be,
understand
yeah,
I'm lowballing
and they'll
you.
be like, too, you see something that's like $32.50 and maybe it's marked down to $27.50 and you're
Right.
like, hey, I got $2,000, I'll drive out to you, and they'll be like, you know what? I'll entertain that if you want to come out today.
which
And it's like, cool, then I will come out.
Which I have
is,
to say that the person that's supposed to be tomorrow gave me an asked me about it and all that, and they're like, hey, I'm not looking to spend what I have it, because I have it listed for $4,000, but I put
Okay.
it for OBO and all that.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, would you do $32.50? A reasonable off, like,
Sure. Yeah.
not $2,000. And I'm like, hey, I'm sorry, I can't do that. I'm like, I'll do 35 and all that.
Yep.
Okay, hey, I might be able to make that work. Can I get some more information, all that stuff? and that's the way that it worked out. Like, be respectful. Like, don't be
Right.
like, hey,
Yeah.
$2,000, here you go. Like, all that shit. Like, just, if you gave me a reasonable offer, I say no, like, then come back, like, counter it. Like, don't just be like, hey, $2,000, here you go. Like,
Yeah,
I
like
got
Dan was
$2,000.
saying,
I
yeah.
bought a car. I bought it when I was in high school. I bought a car. It was just I saw it. It was in the neighborhood, and I looked at it and I was like, keeping in mind when I was in high school, you could buy a car for $100 and daily
sure.
drive it and daily drive it. You could buy a car for $200-$300 and daily drive it for years. 'Cause it's just the way it was. So I saw this car, and I looked it over real quick, and they had a certain price on it, and I said, yeah, I'm broke ass working McDonald's in high school. I said, look, I can really afford to give you $200. That's all I can afford to give you for it. I said, if you like $200, cool. If you don't like $200, that's cool also. And they're like, well, I can't do $200. I'm like, all right, no problem. Week later, I get a phone call. Hey, you still want to do $200 for that car? Sure. Because I wasn't a dick.
Right.
Yep.
Exactly. So, at this point, I want to go to the dick, which y'all have. Well, I've sent them the screenshots and all that from this. So, he sent me just, is this still available? And this was when I was starting to get all the fucking spam ones and all that. So,
Yep.
just a thumbs up. Yep. Okay. You asked me. Thumbs
Yep.
up. It's still available. He didn't fucking answer for a day and a half. So I finally just was like, yes, it is, because obviously you don't know what a thumbs up means. And he's like, trade the next fucking day. It was just trade. And I'm like, no trades.
No trades.
Okay. I'm like, sorry. Next day, he's like, no problem. I got one already. Just want another one. And he sends me a picture of a fucking regular GT with a shitty aftermarket fucking Cobra bumper on it, and he's like, and it's Kobasa, no R, so it's Koba swaps. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh,
Nice.
so you have just a shitty junkyard Explorer GT40 intake on it, like that's it, like that's all you have. And I'm like, so at this point I'm just pissed because I've just been getting all these fucking things.
Yeah, this is
and I'm
half
like,
a week already. That's
yeah,
past.
and I'm like,
yeah,
you know
so
what,
perfect.
just fuck you. I'm like, Sabrina's like, don't do it. I'm like, I'm fuck you. I'm just fucking doing this. And I'm like, well, if you want a 32 valve, just let me know. Price is reasonable offer. He's like, pick. And I'm like, pictures are in the listing that you responded to. What's your bottom dollar? I was gonna offer you some ATVs, and I'm like, I don't need ATVs. And at this point, because you're being a dick, I'm only gonna drop like $200 off the price. And I'm like,
And I need
3,800.
cash.
I'm like,
Yeah.
3,800.
3,800 is the price I can do. He's like, I have 2,500 right now, and I'm like, well, you're
Sounds
close.
like you got a problem.
Well, I'm like, you're close. Just need another 1,300 to be there. He's like,
Yeah, he screenshotted all this shit.
I'm like, you're gonna be a dick to me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a dick to you.
I did that when I was selling the RX-7 because I had one guy that was asking me, hey, how much for the motor? Because I had it listed, it had a 302 in it. He went, how much for just the motor? So what I did was I answered him back with the price of the whole car. And I said, it's this much for the motor. I'll throw in the rest of the RX-7
yes,
for
you can just yeah.
So, but he answered. He's like, well, I'll race for Pinks, and I'm FWU. I don't even know what the fuck that means.
What'd
I
you
don't.
say?
I'm FW. I don't even speak.
I'm fucking with you, is what he meant.
Oh, well, I don't fucking speak
I'd have
Creative.
took him up on it. I'd have said, okay, I'll race you for Pinks, and then showed up with Sabrina's car.
He's like, I don't need it.
and tell him he has to
he's
show up
like-
with one of the ATVs.
He's like, I'll just pass. And I'm like, and at this point, I was typing out a thing. I'm like, Bud, listen, either you read the posting or you didn't. Could have worked out a number if you were actually serious. I appreciate the offer, but it's not going to work, man. Hope you have a good one. He's like, it wasn't going to work out because apparently I already shot my price and I was $1,300 off. I'm like, yeah. Yeah,
well,
you were.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
actually that's a
Like,
good
you
time to
fucking-
recognize it too, bud.
Yeah.
You know?
I would have taken him up on racing for Pinks, and I'd have showed up with one of your
are
fast
you
cars.
fucking kidding me? And then just the amount of people that like, hey, is this available? Yes, it is. What's the lowest you can do? And I'm like, all right, 38. No answer. Like, well, you asked me, or hey, is this available? Yes, it is. No fucking answer. Or I did have somebody locally that apparently lives like in these couple blocks and all of that. He was actually very nice about it. I responded very nicely to him and all of that. He did ask for, one of the first people asked if like instantly trade for BMW 320i. Man, I'm like, heh, no, I ain't fucking getting a BMW. But this
Break
guy-
my wallet.
Yeah, apparently this guy lives like close because he's like, hey, he's like, I saw this. He's like, I drive by your house all the time. I saw you Coburn with your Fox body and all that. He's like, he has a 94 3000 GT. He's like,
Nice.
are you considering trades? And he asked nicely, like, hey, are like, not just hey trade. He's like, are you considering trades or do you just want cash? And I tell him like, sorry, no, like, not considering trades. He's like, okay. He's like, well, this is a car, like, if you want to trade. And I'm like, no, I'm sorry. He's like, that's okay. He's like, well, if you change your mind. He's like, I drive, he's like, I live right down the road from you, you know, with, and all that. So, again,
that's one of those deals that would be okay.
but the
like,
nice way to go about it. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
it's the
no,
right way
but
to
I'm
go
like,
about it.
I'm sorry about that. I'm like, but hope you have a good. He's like, no, not a problem. He's like, hey, I'll honk next time I go by. I'm like,
Join the club.
like,
Everybody honking.
but
me
yeah,
goodbye.
but it's one of those like that's the proper way to like fucking do it, not just be a damn dick about
Do
it.
you remember when I had that that red 300ZX that I blew up?
Yes,
All right, so
yes. Your door is ajar. Your door is ajar.
Silly
Dan,
car.
your
The
door
door's
is
a door.
ajar.
I hate that
It's a
woman.
jar.
I hate that woman.
Bitch and Betty.
whoever like, anyway.
She's already dead.
Yeah.
She's already dead.
So it's back before like Facebook Marketplace was a thing. That was Craigslist days, and this guy came out to look at it, and I'm one of those courteous human beings, you know. So when he messaged me, I had the car posted up for like $800. It had a rod knock, real bad. Rest of the car was fine except for.
It just had Uncle Rodney. Oh,
The
and
door was
bitching
a
Betty.
jar.
Your
The
door is a jar.
So I probably had a bad door latch or some shit.
It didn't matter. She fucking never shut up.
No. It was like an 86, I want to say, 300ZX 2+2.
Yeah, it was an 86.
And it was a 2+2 with T-tops. And this guy hit me up off Craigslist, and he was like, yo, man, I'm interested in the car. He's like, I'm looking for a car that I can rip the motor out of and put a different drivetrain in. I'm like,
Perfect solution.
this is the perfect thing for you, man. Like,
Because it had
listen,
a good interior and everything.
we talked for like 2 days before we discussed price. And this dude was fantastic. And he goes, well, I know you want 800. Will you take 500 for it because the motor's blown? I was like, for sure, man. I said, just like, if you want to get it, I don't think it'll make it far, obviously, but probably bring a trailer or whatever. And he's like, all right, no worries. And we, exchange all the information, address, all that. He hits me up, says, like, listen, I'm 15 minutes away. And I was like, all right, I'll be outside and waiting for you. So I went outside, and this is when I still live with my parents, way out in the deep depths of Dunlin.
Mini farms.
Yep. And I'm standing
in the hills.
outside, and like at 5 minutes after he texts me, I hear this sound in the distance, and you know how that area is out there. You can hear everything.
You can
for
hear them
miles.
coming down the
Yeah.
road, like from half a
Yeah.
mile away through the woods, coming down
And
each
this sound-
street. Yeah.
I started, as it was approaching, pinpointing the sound. I was like, ooh, somebody with something is getting sideways somewhere. And it got closer, and it happened again. I was like, ooh, that's inline 6 noises. Got closer. Again, I hear it. I'm like, I hear turbo sounds. All right. And then this little 240 SX comes down my road and turns in my driveway. Pulls on up, too. All the way up to the top. And again, I told this guy, too, car needs to be towed. And I also even said, too, listen, man, if you're coming out here with some other car to look at it, I live on some shitty dirt roads. Like, bad. Like, if you got a car that's lower than normal, I wouldn't recommend even coming out here to look at it. So he pulls up this little hog-nosed 240 SX convertible.
Ugh, hognose.
And he gets out the car, and I was like, dude, was that you ripping on it all the way through here? And he goes, yeah, because your fucking roads are fucking ass. And I don't even know if I want to look at this car now. And I was like, oh. I said, dude, I told you the roads are easy. I didn't know they were this bad. And I said, dude, I told you they were gnarly. And he said,
Right.
look, I was just coming out here to look at this car because I thought it'd be a good candidate. I have an RB26 in this 240, which he actually did. And he's like, I wanted to put it in this. He's like, I didn't even want to drive out here. And he's like, I was trying to just like go around corners, and then I couldn't. And you told me I could take the car, and I was like, well,
With a trailer.
I said, yeah, you mean, I told you have to tow it, it's got to knock. And he goes, I know it's got to knock, but I thought I could drive it. And then I said, well, what were you going to do with your 240? He was by himself. And he said, well, I thought I could just leave it here, and then you would like let me take the car, and then I come back and get my car, but your roads are so shitty, I don't even want to look at it. I just came up to your driveway to look at the car. And I was
Roger
like-
that.
I was like, okay, man.
All right, here it is. Look at it all you want. I'll
I
be
said-
inside.
Yeah, for real.
There it is. And he goes, yeah, I'm just going to pass anyway. And he got in his car and left. And I was like,
Cool story,
That's-
bro.
yeah, needs more dragons. That's on you, bro. Like, I warned people about that. And I had like 2 or 3 people that came up that like complained about the roads, and I told them. And then the last guy who got it, his name was Zach, actually. Zach P. something. His last
Not
name was
me.
P. I remember that. He came up
I'm
and
gonna see something.
he said, dude, I live out in Denell. And he goes, you think this car will make it out there? And I was like, I really don't. And he goes, well, you know, he said, you want like $800, right? And I said, yeah, I do. And he goes, I'm going to have my buddy follow me. I'll give you $800 for the car. I don't care if it's going to blow up. And I said, well, also, listen, the fucking lady says random things. Like, your headlights might be on, her door ajar. She talks. He goes, I don't care, man. I want to put a V8 in it or something like that. I'm like, all right, come out. And he came out, had somebody follow him, and he drove it out. And he texted me too. He made it all the way almost to Ocala with the car where he lived with it, like
Like rod knocking hard.
bad. And I was like, good on you, dude.
Like knocking like it wants
Yeah.
inside.
And like, it was good because he let me know when he got back, and
Yeah.
he said everything went smooth, and I'm like, dude, good for you, and I'm glad you do something with the car, and I don't know whatever happened to
Yeah.
it actually. My RX-7 though is in really good hands.
I know that.
And it, dude.
Yeah, the last time I saw it, had a small block Chevy sitting inside of it.
So I have to.
No, Lauren's brother, one of her younger brothers bought it.
Yeah, she bought it
Yeah.
for him as a graduation present. I gotta
Nice.
get some pictures, but he's put the wide body quarters on,
Yep.
and he started molding it to the
Yep.
body to
Yep,
delete
he
the
did.
rivets.
Nice.
And I was like, dude, send me pictures, please. And I'm hoping to get some pictures soon. But
Yeah.
that was one of those ones where like
It's actually sitting about 4 blocks that way.
yes, it is. I wanted to make sure it went to good hands,
Yeah.
and he's gonna appreciate the shit out of that car. And I still have the motor. I gotta do something with that.
Yeah. Oh, before we end, since you started talking about Craigslist stuff, the very first time I tried to sell the Cobra, right after I bought it, and now that because
Did you put it on Craigslist?
yes, I put it on Craigslist.
Wait,
This was
hold on. Craigslist still exists.
well, I think so, but no, this was back in 2000.
Oh, I was gonna say I
No,
haven't-
this was
I
back
haven't
in
gone on Craigslist. I don't
2013.
even know if it's still around.
And it was after I drove Tom's 86 and all that. So
Yeah.
I was like, hey, nope, selling the Cobra. And at that point, I put it up for like $7,000 and all that. And it
Well,
was like,
that was the first time.
but
around,
and it
so.
was like, and yeah, it was that, and then or trade for a Fox Body and all that. My very first one that I got was from a guy up in Chiefland that was like, I'll trade you a boat. It was a big old fishing boat, very nice boat and all that, but a shrimping boat. And I'm like, well, one, I'm not Forrest Gump. And he's like, oh, it's not. And I'm like, oh, it's a very nice boat. And I'm like, but no. He's like, well, it's worth more than your
Bro,
car.
I was
And
gonna
I'm like,
say a trawler, bro.
like,
I'm
I
getting
understand
interested.
that. I'm like, but where is the boat? He's like, oh, it's up here in English Chiefland. I'm like, okay,
What am I supposed to do with it from there?
I can't drive said boat to work.
Yeah.
How am I
there's
supposed to
that.
tow said boat anywhere? I can't tow boat to water to get to work.
Pull her into Crystal Bay and lay anchor. They
Like-
can't move you.
At that point, I worked up in English, and I'm like, okay, so I have to get from Homosassa, like almost by your house, Homosassa to there. No. Well, you should have just said you didn't want boats. I'm like, I'm 19 years old. I don't want a fucking boat. I want to drive my car to work.
I want a
work-
goddamn skiff. I want a car.
I didn't expect to be
It wasn't
like,
a skip. No,
boats
this
in
was
my
like
ad,
this was like Forrest Gump.
Like
A
big ass,
trawler.
yeah, a
And
trawler.
I'm like, no,
Like
Bubble
that's,
gum.
no,
dude.
no.
I'll tell you what.
I need to go to work. I
One-
work at
You can't
Family
buy one
Dollar.
of those
Last
for less than
funny
16.5, and they don't
Facebook
run
story
like
about
damn.
I work at
It
Family
actually
Dollar.
involves
no.
someone that's here. So when I was selling the
Oh
Devil
shit!
S10,
Did I do it?
No.
Oh okay.
When I was selling the Devil S10,
Ah,
I actually got one text from or one message from somebody who's like, "Hey, I'm nearby. Can I come take a look at it?" I'm like, "Sure." I didn't look at the name. I didn't look at the picture. Nothing. He shows up at my house, and it's this motherfucker.
and I have $900 in my pocket. I know he's asking for 12 and has another motor for it. And I'm like, damn it, bro, because I didn't even tell him. I thought he knew who it
didn't
was.
recognize
And he's
the
like,
name or
oh,
nothing.
dude, I'm around the corner. Swing through. I'm in the garage. I'm like, fucking sweet.
Oh,
You know,
the
he's
Devil
like,
S10.
yeah, so I roll up and he's like, shit. And then we're talking about it. And that dude on the bike shows up and actually had money. and
Yeah, so
and I
the
was all
only-
like, bro, sell your truck.
Yeah,
Like,
the
I
only
just-
reason that he didn't end up with it is because somebody beat him to the punch by like 10 minutes.
yeah,
Like 10 minutes
yeah.
before he got there, the guy shows up, takes 5 minutes at the truck,
Yeah.
and goes, "I'll take it. I'll give you $1,100."
Yeah,
for it."
exactly. And then he's looking at me and he's like, "Bro, I didn't realize it was you." I'm like, "No, make your money." This was I was on the front porch smoking a cigarette at my mom's, and I'm like, "Wait a second, this is less than 8 miles away. This is 1,200. I got $900 in my pocket. Let me go talk to her. It's Chris." And I'm like,
Like he shows up to my house and he didn't realize it was me. I didn't realize it was him. We both made like, "Oh shit, what's up, man?"
exactly. Exactly. And I was about to lowball him. I'll be like, "Dude, like, follow me home. Take your
To be
tag."
honest,
Like,
had that dude not beat you by fucking
Oh,
10
bro,
minutes, you
if-
would have
yep.
had that truck too.
Oh, I
And
know,
I
would've
I
absolutely-
know.
That truck's probably sitting in a fucking scrapyard now.
No, that truck's probably still kicking.
Oh, I was gonna say unless you're in contact.
No.
I'm not gonna lie, I had
It
my
has-
Z28 at the time, and the motor was blown, or I thought it was, which is a whole nother story for another time, guys.
It had, but that truck
I
has
wanted to
murdered
outside it.
its last 4 fucking owners. So
I'm
yeah.
pretty sure that truck at least had one dead body in it.
Exactly.
Stashed in the
Exactly.
frame
There was
somehow
the only.
pieces.
There was a reason it was called a Double S10 for a reason.
That thing was Christine.
It
in
was.
Yeah,
SDS.
dude, and
It
at
was.
first I was like, bro, you got a good fucking
And
fucking
they were
good
like,
stuff, man.
no,
Walking around looking
God,
like,
damn.
oh, good stuff. Like, not even a week later, I was like, dude, this truck's trying to kill you. You know
Yeah.
that, right? Like,
But it's
While
okay.
it was fixing itself.
Yeah, while it was fucking fixing
fixing
itself.
That
Yes,
truck was
that truck
haunted.
fixed itself many times.
But it's okay. He's got the best truck now, so that's all
Yep,
that matters.
That's why I sold that truck, was to get the best truck ever
Yeah,
made.
Yes.
that's all that matters.
So on that bombshell, are we ready to end, guys?
Yeah, we were
What,
ready to
Yeah.
what bombshell that Craigslist and Marketplace is the worst wasteland out there in
It's
America?
a bombshell in itself.
Absolutely.
So what we've
Right.
determined is that Facebook Marketplace and selling cars through classifieds, Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace
Is
is
a shit
awful.
show.
And on that bombshell, we've decided to end.
Have a good night,
Love
guys.
you
Excited,
guys.
everybody.
Ending.
We'll
See you in
see
2
you in
weeks.
2 weeks.
And